Alright, don't know if this is working. I've hit all of the buttons. It looks like this is working. Alright, good. Does this work on mobile? I believe so. What's up, Victoria? Hello, everyone. Alright. Another quiz, another stream. Yes, Cyrus. That is the life that you live here. That is what is happening. Okay. Okay, let's get this. Alright, give me a second. I'm trying to see if I'm having this issue, the same one that I had before. Okay. While we were doing that, why is this? Okay, sweet. Well, I'm ready. Let's freaking do this. No, well, I mean, less stress. So on like the first stream, I had music. I usually have music in the background just in my headphones, and it was like playing in the first stream. So I want to see if it's doing that now. All right, cool. Okay, we're good. Let's get this music proper. Here's some questions. Let's get freaking after this. Yep. Be bold, be brave, no question marks. You know what it is. EEG. Very good. Yep. Yeah. Sweet. All right. Good stuff. Just remember, if you guys have questions, throw them at me. Until that time, I'll just be throwing questions at you guys as we kind of wait for a few more people to hop on. So let's see. Eggs. Ahmed? No. Would demonstrate what symptoms? There we go. Right. It does. Yeah, but the brain, Ethan Lobo, those brain waves, that's brain activity. Like, that's your brain doing stuff. Now, when you start looking at the PET scan or the MRI, that's going in deeper. That's showing you where in the brain those areas are active. The EEG just says, okay, the brain overall is doing it, not specifically where it's happening. Yep. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense, Lobo. No, you don't need to know everything. You need to know, remember, you need to know all the functions. And remember, one of your FRQs is over norepinephrine. So it's possible that you'll get that on there. So you'll need to know that. And then you'll need to know like the top three. Dopamine, acetylcholine, and there's one more. I can't remember what the other one is. But the top three, you'll need to know about what happens when there's too much or too little. Yep. Motor movement of the mouth. Very good. Yeah, I'm gonna do that here in a little bit. I'll probably do it at like 8:20 or something, just to give everyone a chance to get in. Just remember, we will also go over that in fourth period before we start our quiz. Yep, good. Now remember, for those of you who are just like trouble speaking, can't speak, you need to be specific. Yeah, serotonin. Thank you. You guys need to be specific about what is not working, what is like, why is it that they can't speak. Because when you start talking about Wernicke's aphasia, remember, Wernicke's aphasia is the lack of comprehension and expression. So trouble speaking, people with Wernicke's aphasia definitely have trouble speaking as well. Yep, perfect. What do we need to know for the endocrine system? Just those basic ones that I talked about. The hypothalamus, the adrenal glands, and pituitary gland. No, no, Nifa, I'm not. I'm never gonna ask where things are. That's just a waste of our time. We're not in geography, so I already teach world geography, so I don't need to. I don't need to know that you know where things are. Let's see. Okay, so I've got some answer choices on this one. So hold your horses. I'll give you guys some. See if you can. Okay, hold on. This is not wanting to work for me. Nathan, I'll get you your question in just a second. Let me get these out. So Nathan, the um, think about the pituitary gland as the hypothalamus, like I said, is the brain. And one of the ways, the brain of the endocrine system, and one of the ways in which the endocrine system communicates is through different types of hormones, different chemical messengers. And so the pituitary gland is going to receive information from the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is like, okay, we need to get more testosterone pumping into the body or whatever. And so it's going to send a message down to the pituitary gland, which is right next to it. And the pituitary gland is then going to kind of filter that information out to whatever gland needs to get that info. So it's like the hypothalamus just can't be bothered to talk to the other glands. It only talks to the pituitary gland. Yeah. Yep. Decrease in heart rate. Good. Yeah, because remember the parasympathetic brings us back down. Sympathetic gets us up. Parasympathetic brings us down. Uh, all right. I'll have some more answer choices. Kind of in this in the similar vein to what I just asked. All right, there we go. The enforcer in an autocratic government. Sure, Nathan. If that is what helps you remember it, sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. You have to remember though, I can only wear so many hats. So yeah. Yeah. Respiratory rate. Yep. Brings us up, gets us ready to fight or flight or do whatever needs to be done in order to survive or whatever. Gets us up, gets us going. Um, uh, is my I just saw my screen get a little choppy. Has it been like going in and out of being it's been choppy. Yeah, fear and aggression. Good. Yep. So you could get the cat. So this question might be like, which of the following, and so they would describe the cat doing different things. You might have the cat like, begin to eat uncontrollably, or slip into like fall asleep, and then one of them would be like immediately withdraw in fear, and that would be what you were looking for. Okay, so just remember, afferent with an A are the sensory neurons, and so those are the ones that are getting information from our skin and sending that information back up to the brain. And then efferent with an E are the motor neurons, and that information is coming from the brain down into the muscles and helping us move. You do not have to apologize for being late, Cash. I am just happy that you are here. You guys can come and go as you please. Remember, the amygdala is the part of the limbic system that specifically deals with the emotions of fear and aggression. And so it is the kind of the fight or flight response. So I mean, this is part of the thing that you don't really need to go too deep into. Just know that the two are, and basically what it is that they are inhibitory and excitatory depending on the situation or depending on the part of the um, body. So, like acetylcholine is a excitatory in basically the entire body, except for the heart, where it is an inhibitory. But you don't need to know that. You just need to know that they can be both. So, and generally it's to do with what part of the body it's in. So, yep. Yeah. So we're specifically looking at the Wernicke's area here. So fourth period, we just quickly, we didn't really get a chance to cover it, but yeah, that's the Wernicke's area. Harin, that was at the very beginning of yesterday, where it was just on the board, and I wanted you to write it down, and then we quickly snapped through it. It was that big dumb chart thing. that you had to look at. What's up, Yash? And just literally just Google parasympathetic versus sympathetic nervous system in Google, and you'll see the exact same chart that I wrote down. It's real easy. It's easy to find. Yeah. You definitely need to know the entire chart, but it's simple. It's not difficult. You're really just like the central nervous system is just that, and then when you get to the parasympathetic nervous system, it breaks into two parts, which each break into two parts. Easy peasy. Someone sent me the pictures of the notes I missed from in class. Should I still print out the Schoology notes? I would compare them, Autumn, and then based on I'd look at what the person sent you. I'd look at the notes that are online, and then make a decision based on that. So that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. Okay. We did not talk about split brain. We haven't talked about that. We didn't really get to talk about corpus callosum yet. Okay. Why is... I have like a... What is going on? Okay. That's what I want. Okay, sorry about that. I'm trying to find the right question to pop up next. Quiz and FRQ. It will basically always be a quiz plus an FRQ, but unless otherwise specified. Yeah. So, and does anyone remember what is on the FRQ tomorrow? That would be important to know. Yep, I'm all good. Yeah, it's part of the brainstem. Focuses on a ton of stuff. Yes, Yash. Yeah, there's a bunch of functions. Respiration, swallowing, bladder control, yep, etc. Yep, keeps you alive. Yes. Just remember it's just part of that the old brain, and it's one of the areas that once again, yeah, keeps you alive. Yep, facial expressions. Yep. All those things. You can choose from the list, but it's all those things. So, norepinephrine, amygdala, occipital lobe, and what are we writing, Lucy? Yash, what are we? Oh, thank you. Yes, that is what's going to be. Sorry. Yeah, that's what's on the FRQ. Good. I remember that. Okay, here we go. More questions. Yeah, just remember that for tomorrow's FRQ, you're only going to be writing about one of those. So, yep. Yep. I don't know what an apnea is. Weston, what's an apnea? Google an apnea. Apnea? Aphonia? Are you saying apnea? Apnea has to do with sleep. I don't know what a an aphasia is, Weston. Oh, an aphasia? No, remember an aphasia is a if that's what you meant, an aphasia is a language disorder. Yeah, yeah. You're good. Oh yeah, no, yeah. Just remember that is dealing with language, not with vision. So, yep, it would mess up your vision. Something would not be right. Okay, here we go. Next one. We'll talk about sleep apnea later. It's all good, Weston. It's all good. You're working on it. You're trying to get it. So I do not mind. I just for a moment thought that you might know something that I did not. I was eager to learn it. Yes, Amel. The brainstem is the old brain. What does that mean? Yeah, so I don't spend a lot of time talking about it, but like your brain, kind of as we advance up, your brain gets more high tech, you could say. So think about like lizards and snakes and fish and stuff. The reason why they call it the reptilian brain is because that's about as much as their brain can process. So think about a fish or a lizard, like they don't have emotions. Like you like betrayal or sadness or whatever is not like a thing that they have. They just eat food and reproduce. Like that's that's all they do. So if you're like interested in dating someone and they have a snake, I mean you should probably think again, because that's just very silly. That snake does not love them or care about them. It is simply trying to figure out how to eat them. So, yeah. I mean, no judgment, but just stay away. It's just not worth it. Yash, the big thing with. Yash, I'll get to your question in a second. Let me make sure that I am doing this. Or let me finish my train of thought. So that's the old brain, and like I said, it's just basic survival functions. And then as you get higher into the limbic system, that's where other parts of emotions and higher thinking creatures, their brain gets that advanced. And so like Teddy feels emotions, like dogs, I mean sometimes cats, not really, but they feel emotions and they can love and, well, I mean, really care about and all that stuff. So and then when you get to the cerebral cortex where we are, like, we got some we're smart people. um yep. Weston, listen, my friend. You, we're always going to be our greatest critics, and sometimes we gotta try not to do that so much. So I'm not that smart either, but that doesn't mean I don't have value. You're a great guy, Weston. We like you. That's good. And also, Weston, you can just find him online if you need to. Oh, I took a nap. Oh my gosh. So I had jury duty today. It started at 1:30. So I took a half day. So right after y'all's school. Oh, for fourth period, you guys saw all the people. Yeah, snakes. Wait, Amal, what are you confused about? Just don't date anyone that has a snake. They're weird and you shouldn't like snakes. Yeah, you need to get examples. Yep. So the purpose is for those second summaries is that you are not just like writing, like wrote what, like you're not just copying word for word what was going on. You are taking what we've written down and regurgitating it and putting it into your own words. And so when I see examples, that's a clue to me, like, hey, the student is catching on. They're really trying to make connections and stuff like that. And that's the best thing, and that's the best way for you to remember stuff. So also remember, I go through these really quick. So if you have like a block of text and you hide your examples in there, I'm just not going to see it. So you want to make it big, like highlight it or write examples or whatever, and that way I see it better and it's easier for me. So that's the big thing. Um, so that's what I would do if you want the three. So okay. Do we have to know the specifics of certain scans? Weston, I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Yeah, I mean you need to know like the differences between EEG, PET scans, and all that. Yeah, yeah, I can go over all the types of scans. I'm throwing shade at all the cats. I agree. Yep. See, listen, like, what is the best type of cat? Like, whenever I'm asking people about cats and stuff, um, or whenever people are talking about cats, and they're describing what they like about cats and like the best type of cat, they always say that the best type of cat is a cat that acts like a dog. It's like the combination of the two. So in my head, I'm just like, just get a dog. Like, come on now. How could you say no to Teddy? Right, Teddy? You want to hop up here? You're going to help me prove my point. Come on. How could you say no to this? I mean, how could you say that cats are better than this doofus dog? Yeah, you're pretty dumb, but that's okay. That's why we like you. It makes me feel better knowing that someone else in this world is much dumber than I am. So, yeah, well, we're not worried about the Egyptians. At least not the ancient Egyptians. They're all gone. What do you think, bud? What do you think? All right. Ragdoll's the best cat? I don't even know what that is. Yeah. Teddy has we had a good night last night. We ran around a whole bunch yesterday. Got to catch all the Pokemans. There was like a um, raid event or whatever. So for like an hour, like all the big nasty Pokemon were out, and so Teddy and I were Teddy and I were out on the town catching Pokemans, and then we went out again. So he had a great time running around. He chased a squirrel. He almost caught the squirrel too this time. I was a little nervous. He usually doesn't come close, but he got close this time. Weren't you? You almost caught him, but you're not smart enough. Sorry, bud. Yeah, dogs are kind of dumb, but that's why we like them so much. All right. Okay. Can you describe what you mean by arousal throughout the notes? Arousal means like awareness, how alert you are. On the slide I have like it's not like what's it called? That really attractive person. Why is his name escaping me? But arousal is just talking about how alert you are. Okay. So alert or awake. All right, MRI, fMRI. Okay, so let's go through them really quick. We first start with excuse me. Yash, maybe you should have paid attention to my opening what's it called? Um, oh no, my opening intro slides. Yash, I had Pokemon Go on there. I talked on on a bunch. Okay, so um, first off, you have EEG, electroencephalogram. Remember, this is the one that you put a bunch of little pads on your head, and then it measures the brain activity that travels across the surface of the brain. We'll get to know more about it later when we get into states of consciousness and we talk about the different waves that it shows us. And then, Victoria. Victoria, you've caught me. Busted. Yeah, well, I am. This is so. Well, I'll give you a little hint. I'll come back to the other things in a little bit, but this is what is known as self deprecation. Zac Efron, thank you, Sana. So this is what is known as self deprecation. So when you are in a position of power, when you are like in leadership roles slash like in charge of some things, often like just imagine if every single day I talked about how great I was at all of these things. Like I'm like, oh, I'm so smart. I know all this stuff about psychology. Burp, 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 burp. So whenever I say that, like, oh, I don't know something, or I'm kind of a dummy in this area, it's mostly just self-deprecation, because what I'm really trying to do is I'm really trying to get you guys to think I'm to uh what is there's a term for it. I'm blanking on the term, but I'm basically trying to get you guys to like me more, to be more relatable to you guys. So, because no one likes, no, being ostentatious and being, say, using words like that, is there will be 20 questions in the quiz. Just all, you're not, what are you doing here, son? What are you doing? So yeah, so there we go. So I make fun of myself on purpose to make myself more relatable to you guys. So yep, lobe of the brain. The awareness area is in the temporal lobe. Okay, so um, so after your EEG, you have your CT scan. Remember, your CT scan is going to yeah, careful, you pay attention to my class, you'll get a lot of quotable moments um, that probably aren't the best. So yeah, depression. This should be. Oh, plenty of people don't like me, Victoria. Plenty of people, but that's okay. Such is life. So but I appreciate it. So with the CT scan, remember that it gives you a picture of the brain. It shows, but it doesn't really show you a lot of the structures of the brain because it's not a great picture of it. It's using X-rays, so it is most often used when you are looking for some type of damage. It's usually the first thing that happens. Someone comes in, we'll give them a CT scan, see what's going on. And then after that, we have the MRI, gives us a better view of the brain using radio waves and magnetic fields. And that's going to show us the different soft tissues within the brain and gives us a really good picture. But it's expensive and you can't do it with everyone. You then have your PET scan where you inject them with the radioactive glucose. They then do something active, like they talk, or they do memory cues or math problems or something, and that gets the blood circulating in the brain, and then the scanner picks up where that brain activity is. fMRI is basically just a bunch of MRIs crammed together, and you get to see the blood flow again. So, all right. Um, yeah, just I'll make sure when you're saying that the Broca's area doesn't allow the motor movements in your mouth to speak. Hello, Calvin. Welcome back, Calvin. Welcome back. All right. I haven't put up a question in a little bit. I've been rambling. So let's get another question. How's everyone doing? Okay. Okay. So you know how you are voluntary and there are voluntary and involuntary actions. So can emotions count as voluntary or involuntary? Yeah, CT scan has the slices. Yes, we can go over pawns. Um, what I would say is that most emotions are. Yes, I know Midhat and Taha. Yes, I know them. They were former students. Are you in some way related to them? Um, Sana, your question is interesting. Okay, I just wouldn't go that direction. So what I would say is that most emotions are involuntary. Like if someone says something mean to me, that hurts my feelings. I'm sad or whatever. But the things, how I respond would be voluntary. But I wouldn't. That that's not that the voluntary versus involuntary. Like when we were talking about the cerebellum and stuff like that, it's not really talking about emotions. So I'd kind of like just kind of paddle backwards and get out of that. So get out of that mindset. Okay. Just remember that the pons is a part of the spinal cord, and it's kind of like sits on the top of it, and it's just one of those things that helps us stay alive. It does a bunch of random nonsense, like it helps with some of our facial movements. It helps with swallowing, all sorts of like random things, and it's all just part of like keeping us alive or whatever. It's all part of that spinal cord thing. No. Ahmed, I like that you that you prefaced your man and boy. That's I've never seen anyone go that other way. So that was very funny. Okay. Um. So guys, for this question, we are looking at the amygdala. What's that last word? We just talked about pawns, Kalen. I just explained that. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been saying spinal cord. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Brainstem, spinal cord. Sorry. It's connected. It's connected. Sorry. Yeah, I'm saying brainstem. I meant to say brainstem. It sits on the top part of brainstem. That's on me. That's on me. Sorry. 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 um. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to this other question. Hold on. Damage to which of the following brain structures may cause the inability to detect the emotional significance of facial expressions, especially those demonstrating fears? Ah, okay. I see where you guys are going. Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying with the frontal lobe. Um, if, let's say, you got to this question and frontal lobe was not there. Yes, Dasal. Ah, Dasal, you are so smart, so smart. Except for you're on this stream when you're not taking this class, so that's questionable. But yes, fear and aggression. So what would probably happen on this question is that there wouldn't be a frontal lobe, and so you see that keyword fear. Bam. Yep, that's what you're looking for. Yep. No, you're good, Kalen. You're good. You're good. There's a lot going on. Not a big deal. All right, let's see. Next question. Hmm. All right, sorry. Okay, here we go. Next question. Calvin, I tried for 2 years to do the train thing and it just never worked. So I have not tried to make it happen this year. Amygdala is the correct answer. Yeah. I mean, Calvin, like when I was hyping the train thing up last year, like it was hard to keep going. So, trains is dead. It is dead and gone. Sad day. I tried. I tried. But that's okay. That is okay. We will soldier on. So last year, I all right, Calvin. If you want to pick up the mantle, go for it. So last year, um, as part of like as just part of this stream, I had a bunch of I had a lot of students that were really good at like answering questions this the last couple of years. And so what I would do is um I tell them to like it was part of a hype train. I don't know how it got started, but hype train was the thing. And so if you answered a question and someone else answered it for you outside of me, you were supposed to like give them trains. There was another student that like created Quizlets for all of the quizzes and stuff, and so and she would post it to the chat so other people could use them, and yeah, and so you were supposed to spam trains at people, and there's like lots of different types of trains on here for some reason, and so you would spam trains at them. Like those are all the different types of trains that are just on these little emoji things. So but we didn't I could never keep it up, and I yeah. Yeah, wanna maybe don't do that. Yeah. Yeah, there are trains. That's in the thing. So, all right. Yeah, part of the endocrine system that is responsible for overseeing and regulating the release of hormones across the entire body. You're going to be kind of looking, okay, is this the hypothalamus or is this the what's it called? Pituitary gland. Those that should be your kind of your first two to think of, and in this one, we're thinking the hypothalamus. So I will not put both of those answer choices up next to each other. Yep, yep, yep. Mm. Hypothalamus doesn't secrete any hormones. The pituitary gland does. Pituitary gland helps with like your physical growth and some other things. And remember, it's like the hypothalamus is on top. It tells the pituitary gland what to do, and then the pituitary gland does it, or it sends information to the other glands and they do it. Yeah, pituitary gland second in command. Yep, assistant to the regional manager. We did not learn about plasticity. We will learn about that tomorrow, fourth period. Yes. Like I said, remember Amal, it's like remember we have the hypothalamus up here, sends information to pituitary gland, and then it does it for all the other ones. Yep. No, not the MRI is just expensive. Like, and it's you have to have someone that's like in there for an extended period of time or whatever. So it's not. It's good. It's just not perfect. So refractory period. Yep. Refractory period. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now, I am going to go over the things that a fourth period didn't finish. So I'm going to talk about the Wernicke's area, and then I'm going to cover all of the content that we're going to go over tomorrow before the quiz. It's not a lot, but I do want to talk about it. So let's pull this up. Nope, that's not what I want. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Okay. So let's start with the okay. So Wernicke's area, remember, we said this is the brain area that is involved in um, when we are attempting language comprehension and language expression. Oh, hold on, I have some questions. Yes. Are the pons or cerebellum responsible for balance? Cerebellum is responsible. What part of the brain recognizes other people's faces? What's it called? I know the disorder is prosopagnosia. I'm just gonna Google it real quick. I can't remember in the name. What are you called? I don't know. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know. You don't need to know the specific area. It is. It's in the temporal lobe of the brain. I don't know. That's called something. I don't know. You don't need to know. Like I said, you don't need to know it. Okay. I am drinking green tea with hibiscus leaves. Well, dried hibiscus leaves. I don't have any dried hibiscus leaves, but you put it in like the thing and it makes it good. You do whatever you want. Hello, Adriana. How's it going? It is not kombucha. Definitely not kombucha. I've had kombucha. One of my previous girlfriends was like all about it. She like, it's gross. It's like it's literally a living organism, and you're drinking its secretions, and it's waste or whatever. It's disgusting. It is very good. It's very tasty. She was all about that kombucha nonsense. She like spent a bunch of money and bought her own, and then it didn't. It died, or I don't know. Yeah, green tea's great though. This is good. Yeah, I don't know what she. Yeah, that's why we broke up, because she was weird. That's not why we broke up. Okay. Okay. So Wernicke's area. Remember, language comprehension, language expression. If you would like, here's the link to the video that we watched in class. Let me pull this up really quick. Um, and that way if you wanna watch it tonight or whatever, you can get an idea of what it really looks like. And just with the and the same thing with the other video. It's super old, but that is fine because it is good, or it shows you really what it was going on. Yeah, yeah. This is like they students last year made fun of me for drinking from little mason jars. So it's what hip people do. Have I tried mint green tea? I'm not like yeah. Oof, indeed. Oof, indeed. Um, she was a opera singer. She was trying. She was like going to school to become an opera singer. I don't know if she ever. I don't know if she ever made it, but maybe. Yeah. This no. That's Victoria. That's Broca's aphasia. The other one is with the other one is different. You'll see it. Okay. So that's Wernicke's aphasia. So after that, we talk about brain reorganization, and we have this concept known as plasticity. Um, okay. Wait, what am I supposed to keep doing, Cash? Wait, hold on. I feel like you were trying to be supportive. I have to tell more stories? What about my past love life? Listen, if you want to hear stories about my past love life, maybe after stream hours, but I gotta get through all this so that we stay on target and we're ready for tomorrow's quiz. Okay. So um, our brain has the capability to fix itself to a point, of course, but it has the ability to work through issues and sort out problems and damage that happens to it. And so tomorrow we may or may not watch a video. Um, oh yeah, thank you, Cash. I got you. I will. I will. I won't. I won't let people shoot me down. Yeah. Well, I was young back then when I was wearing camo. Not camo shorts. It was not like camouflage. Cardigan or the ones with big pockets. The ones with pockets like on the side. Um, those aren't cardigan shorts. They're called something, but they have big pockets on the side. It was terrible. I was young. Okay, um, so our brain like fixes itself. It works its way around. It tries to solve problems. So um, with let's say that a person goes blind. Well, you've got the whole occipital lobe of the brain, and the occipital lobe's job is to process the things that we see. Well, we no longer that's no longer working. So what's going to happen? Cargo, thank you. What's going to happen to that part of the brain? It's not just going to die. It's going to go through some sort of reorganization. So what's going to happen is when you're looking at this occipital lobe, you have the lobe up here, and the parietal lobe does what? Sense of touch. Okay, so this top part of the occipital lobe of the brain is going to be like, all right, I'm not doing anything anymore. So now I'm going to start helping with the sense of touch. And then the stuff on the sides is like, well, I'm not doing anything anymore. So I'm going to help with the temporal lobe. So I'm going to help us here. So people who are blind have a better sense of touch. They have a better sense of sight. And so that is all part of plasticity as our brain tries to sort itself out and work itself around. Is there any particular part of the brain associated with smell? Oh, yeah, yeah. So that's one of the things that's interesting, though, is that our sense of smell, we'll talk about this when we get to sensation, is really, really small. It's the olfactory bulb, and it's like itty bitty teeny tiny. And you look at this and you're just like, well, how much do we rely on our sense of smell? We really don't. And then when you look at a dog's brain and you inject them with radioactive glucose and you see what they're doing when they're smelling, they have a huge section of their brain that is that processes the things that they smell. They recognize way more in the world from their sense of smell than we do. Elena, come on. You're you're only supposed to say nice things about yourself, girl. Only supposed to say nice things. You got a good grade on your last test, so I don't know what you're talking about. Does it have to do with trauma-related illnesses? Your mom, if you are not actually here to learn something, we will boot you. Booga booga. Okay. So okay. Trauma-related illnesses still have a physical effect on your brain. So remember when we were talking, when we were talking about everything psychological is simultaneously biological. Recognize that those types of traumas do impact the way that your brain looks and works, and so yes. So to answer your question, a person's brain does change because of those types of trauma-related illnesses, and so plasticity can, in some ways, work through and help in those instances. So children's. Remember, Victoria, when we were saying, um, indeed, Cash. So because remember when I was talking about, okay, so your brain doesn't finish developing until you're 25. Well, as part of that, your brain is still growing and processing and doing all sorts of stuff. And so when I say that our children's brains have more plasticity, that is because they are still working and going through those changes. Once you get past 25, you have less plasticity. So it is more dangerous for someone like me who's super old, to get surgery because my brain is going to have less ability to kind of work itself out. So, yep. Alrighty then. So next we have the corpus callosum. And we just quickly need to talk about the different hemispheres of the brain. Okay, so your brain is split into two halves, and each half is called a hemisphere. And so there is a band, as it says on the thing, a band of neural fibers that connects the two hemispheres of the brain, and it helps them communicate with one another. Now, what's interesting is that your left brain, the left hemisphere of your brain, controls the right side of your body, and the right hemisphere of your brain controls the left side. So you have like these signals crossing and going back and forth. And so so right side of the brain controls the left side of your body, left side of your brain controls the right side of the body. Yep, thing that splits the brain. For norepinephrine, do you need to know the problems with surplus and deficit? No. Nope. What does after damage? Right, so plasticity is talking about after your brain's been damaged, it's going to help like sort itself out. It's going to try to fix itself. So after the brain's been hurt. The structure is define 2 to 4 sentences. If you can write in an example there, that's great. That needs to only be 1 or 2 sentences. And then after that, you apply it. So tomorrow's going to be real strict. I'm going to be like, all right, you got the amygdala. What does the amygdala do? And you should be like, the amygdala The dictionary definition: amygdala is a part of the brain that resides in the limbic system, and it controls fear and aggression. An example would be when you are running around in a dark alley and you're really scared, your amygdala would be active. Boom. And then you apply it to whatever the thing is. You're welcome. You're welcome. So, all right, let's do like one last question, and then we're gonna call it a night. I'm gonna put up one more question, and then if you guys have specific questions before I skedaddle, you need to throw them out. Throw them out there. I haven't really asked any questions about neurons. Let me see if I can find one. Hold the phone. Let's see if we can find. What is. Why am I not able to find this? Okay, here we go. Oh, I just asked that question. Okay, never mind. I can't find one that I'm looking for, or the specific one I'm looking for. So, okay. Like ace for WAP, yes. Do we need to know all the neurotransmitters and their functions, or just like the main ones? You need to know all the neurotransmitters and their functions. The top 3, you need to know all of it. You will be assigned. You will be assigned what you're gonna do for FRQ. Just so Autumn, normally no, just because I have to keep this as simple as possible because it does take a lot of time for me to go through these. So generally no. If you are absent on a day, you can look over the notes at night and post them at night. So I will give you I'll give you a max of 1 point on it tonight if you turn it in, but normally I don't, because it's too much for me to like juggle and try to sort out and figure out when it's already a lot. So no, Weston, I will pick that for you. I'm having trouble with my little word bank. I'm trying to, or my bank, and I'm trying to find the quick answer is probably no. I'm not going to be able to find something on the hypothalamus. Oh, here we go. Yes, I can find one. It's not the best question, but it is technically a question. Bam. There you go. instantly, or does it have to be up and running? Like, for example, you're already in a dark alley. Someone throws a slice of pizza. Has this happened to you before, Cash? This is very specific. Just like an action potential, can your amygdala flare up instantly, or does it have to be up and running? No, your amygdala can flare up instantly. I mean, it's very easy for us to get instantly afraid of something. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we got through with no yeah, we got through with no technical difficulties. So, uh, I still want to be able to put PowerPoints up on this stupid thing, but I still can't figure out how to do that. So, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe if someone wants to here, I'll throw extra credit at some people. Here we go. This is the software I'm using. It's called OBS. Let me see what happens when you just Google OBS. Yep. Just here we go. If someone wants to earn some extra credit, I don't know how much it'll be. It'll just be depending on how much it helps. But if someone wants to go to that website, that's the OBS software that I use, and figure out some things. Twitch you have to pay for, so I'm not doing that. That's what. Yeah, that's what I have. Or if you have something else and you can show me how to run it easier, you have to show me OBS or whatever program if there's a better program, and you have to show me how to do it. Like I would like to put some things up on, like other than just me. I'd like to be able to like screen share and all that stuff. So if you can find some time to show me how to do that, um, yeah, that would be good. You don't have to pay for Twitch to stream. To stream, you don't have to pay for. Okay. What about to live? Yeah, this is a thing that you work on, you sort out, and then you can bring to me at a future date. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, see, I'm like the stuff not being able to do some of the things that like not being able to screen shares bugging the poop out of me. It is very annoying. So okay, well we are done for tonight. Um, yeah. Okay. Yep, we're done for tonight. So thank you everyone for hopping on. Really appreciate it. Just don't forget quiz tomorrow. Make sure that you get a good night's rest tonight. Yeah, I don't want to pay $8.99 a month. Bandicam. Yeah. Yes, they are a type of association function, Serene. Yep. Yep. Whoever wants to whoever can show me and make it easy for me. That's going to be the big thing, boys and girls. It's got to be easy. Otherwise, it's yeah. Do I know who Joe is? I know several Joes, Weston. You'd have to give me a last name. I'm glad, Yash. I'm glad it helped. I will, Victoria. Teddy and I are going to go probably catch some more Pokemon, and then I'm going to bed. Spam G for gratefulness. Yes, good luck studying, everyone. All right, we will see you. No problem. Thank you guys for hopping on. Really appreciate it. So we'll see you guys mañana. Also, get a good night's sleep. Don't stay up too late. So see you later, guys. Thanks for hopping on.